I started vlogging when I was already halfway from the Philippines to Hong Kong. Whew! The journey from my place to boarding was a whirlwind. Oh my gosh, see? There you go. Proof it was stressful. This shirt was new. It felt like everything moved at the speed of light. There was steps I didn't realize I had to complete before leaving the Philippines, like the e-travel registration. I mean, this was my first time leaving the Philippines, so it felt like stepping out of a dark cave into the sunlight. Knowing I had to handle everything on my own made the world suddenly feel huge. Upon arrival at Hong Kong airport, I was impressed immediately by how well designed and spacious everything seemed. It felt as if there was a purpose for everything. Each particular space was provided for comfort and efficiency in travel. Of course, it brought me to compare it with NAIA. Hong Kong airport gives the travelers ease of getting around, while NAIA often feels like a crowded chaos. Now I understand why people say NAIA is one of the worst airports in the world. I don't know if I'd call it worse, but after seeing Hong Kong's airport, it's hard to ignore the difference. This was a much needed break. Does flying give anybody else gas? For me, the real blow comes from the sudden change of temperature. And trust me, it wasn't easy to hold it in a very small room with a lot of people. Luckily, the airport has free warm water. NAIA should have this too. Beijing NAIA, you got this. As I boarded, I was excited but at the same time quite nervous. And given that I was going to fly economy, it was quite a challenge. The space for the seat is very small, but I coped. I felt bad for this guy. And man, it got hot in there pretty quickly. The air just felt so thick with everyone's breathing, making it even more crowded. The plane took off, and here I was determined to stay awake for the first meal. Surprisingly, the meal turned out to be better than expected. After eating, trying to sleep was a must since the next meal would come in around 10 hours time. But the problem is, sleeping upright? Impossible. I have no idea how other people fall asleep this way. Can you? No matter how I positioned myself, I couldn't find an angle to be comfortable. I finally gave up trying to sleep. I just reclined back and watched some movies. Eventually, they served us the second meal. And have you guys noticed that when I have fruits in the meal, I would always eat the fruit first, and then the vegetable, and then protein, and then carbs. Anyways, the meal was really good, and a good meal always finish with a little souvenir. If not the tissue, it's a ketchup. About an hour after the last meal, they started announcing the landing, and at the moment, I really needed to pee. I'd been holding it for nearly 5 hours because I was sandwiched in the middle seat and didn't want to wake up the guy in the aisle seat who'd been sleeping soundly. It was almost impressive. Surprisingly, I thought I'm gonna be nervous because the journey is going to officially start once we landed. But it almost felt like I was meant for this, like I'd done it before. Even though this was my first real adventure, first real solo travel, my first true travel experience.
Once again, we'd like to thank you very much for choosing Cathay Pacific Airways, and we wish you a very pleasant stay in France or wherever your travels may take you. Cabin crew, 30 minutes for landing. Thank you.
I am currently here in Charles de Gaulle Airport, and I'm finding my way out of the airport by train. Let's see if I will make it. I had to make it to the main station to head to Paris, and this marked my first real asking for direction moment abroad. I get lost inside shopping malls. If you know that about me in the Philippines, for goodness sake.
You walk so fast.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. I have another problem. I need to figure out how to buy ticket. So I don't know. I am gonna figure out. And it's good thing. It's such a relief that I'm seeing some people struggling as well. So it's not just me. I'm gonna ask. Hi. Excuse me, where can I buy RER tickets going to Paris?
Follow the pink line here.
This line? Okay, so there. What is the color of the ticket booth? The machine, yeah. What's the color? Just here. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. They all speak English. I'm impressed. I'm amazed. It's the opposite of everyone saying, "Oh, no one speaks English in France." It's not true. I got my Navigo pass for 3 days. To be honest, I was really not sure of the things that I asked there. RER tickets, kiosk, where to buy the ticket, what color of the kiosk, of the ticket booth, or whatever. But I was just really starting and trying to guess because I don't really have an idea. Even though I researched this many times, I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials, but once you're already there, you just get mental block because there's a lot of things around going on.
I made it! I made it through the exit!
I made it! The whole 1 hour going around, I don't know where to go. I'm so confused of the signages. I couldn't find the exit, but I'm here. I'm outside. Welcome to Paris! C'est drôle, je ne sais pourquoi. Ça me fait toujours penser à toi. Plein d'autres gens, c'est la magie, l'amour, les baguettes, Paris. Au moins la lumière, le pareil, la tour de femme, c'est la fête. Je pense à toi. So these are the activities that I did. I decided to rent a bike in Paris, which I regretted immediately. My terrible sense of direction ended up costing me 12 euros, all because I took 30 minutes to reach my destination. And my destination is the famous cemetery where Jim Morrison, I don't know why do I always say Jim Carrey. Jim Morrison is buried. Visiting the cemetery also felt special because I had a very important task, and it's playing tourist photographer. That's very important. After that, I made my way to Sacré-Cœur to say a quick hi to my old friend. She's standing strong and beautiful, just like the last time I saw her. And this was also my first time taking the subway to get to places. I mean, I took it when I arrived in Paris, but that was just part of the arrival, if you know what I mean. Going around the Paris subway felt like cracking a code. I'm brand new to this. Remember, guys, we don't have subways in the Philippines, so I was really nervous. I really did not want to find myself on the wrong line and keep paying an extra 2 euros every time. I was not in a hurry, so I stood there quiet for a while, looking at which line to take, and it still seemed like some sort of a labyrinth to me. Not only that, but also I struggled and always struggle to find the sortie. I don't understand. Or the way out. I was kind of just going on circles, ending up in the same place because I'm so lost. So when I finally saw the way out, I felt so relieved. Just like that, it almost felt like some kind of a successful operation. But I made it. It was such a proud moment for me, like I just unlocked another level in my solo traveling skills and... we're here already! It's right in front of the station! I made my way to Champs-Élysées just to check out the scene. There was really nothing new to me. It's exactly how it was the first time I saw it. And here I am walking behind these two Filipinas. I was actually getting the courage to talk to them, but I didn't do it because I was so shy. Thank you.
On your left.
Here, okay, thank you. And here's a moment I'll never forget. I queued for 2 hours to climb the Eiffel Tower, only to realize I hadn't bought a ticket. Luckily, the ticket staff was very nice to me and he let me go straight to the ticket booth without queuing again. After nearly 2 hours of waiting, here we are, finally ascending through this iconic piece of art. Felt surreal to be once again inside something so grand and legendary. Not like most Filipinos, I'm not usually one to take tons of selfies, but experiences like this don't come come around every year, so I wanted to have a picture memory to capture me, myself, and I on top of La Tour Eiffel during my solo trip. Who knows, because this might be my last. I stayed at the top until sunset because I want to see how the sunset would transform the view. And since I was already up there, I just want to make the most of it. And I just really wanted the full experience. So yeah, speaking of full experience, I bought a piece of eclair while savoring the sunset sun. It was perfect food to end the day at the top of La Tour Eiffel. I went down to join the crowd waiting for the Eiffel Tower lighting. It was so crowded and all the good spot is already taken, so I just sat there on the side and I patiently waited for the mademoiselle to light. And voila! It's such a beautiful experience, but it's a bliss. It only lasted for 5 minutes, but it was definitely a beautiful, beautiful experience. Here's the thing. Paris isn't all about the lights and magic. I've been here before, like some 7 years ago or 6 years ago, and this time it felt different. There was more graffiti, more litter, ambulance and police sirens every 30 minutes, and I saw a lot of homeless people in the street. It just made me wonder. It made me wonder, how did they even manage to climb all these steel bridges and leave a graffiti there? It's many part of the city we don't see on the postcards or in Emily in Paris. You don't see these things there. Paris is beautiful, yes. And I just wonder, will it ever grow old on me? I guess only time will tell. Anyways, my Paris solo trip was blissful but wonderful. You might have violent reaction on this one, but contrary to what we thought, the locals were very nice and helpful to me in this trip. Overall, my Paris trip passed the checklist, but stay tuned, because it's not on the top of my list. By the way, that was my go-to food in France. I make my own French sandwich, baguette, goat cheese, and tomato. Because when in France, do was the French too. Because why not?